For this week's retro review, I decided to take a look at the 1998 dark comedy / action movie Small Soldiers, and this is a strange movie for me to try to review because on the one hand, it's not a very good movie, but on the other, there is something to enjoy with this movie if you're willing to just switch your brain off while watching it. Now, for a little background on this movie, it's directed by Joe Dante, and if that name sounds familiar to you, it's because he's also the director who made Gremlins back in 1984. And I bring that up because this very much feels like another version of Gremlins, and I'll explain what I mean with that in a little bit. But first, let's just kind of go into what this movie is about. So it starts off with this big conglomerate with contracts in a lot of other industries, including military technology, research and development. They buy up a toy company, and the CEO of this major company decides to task a couple of the toy makers with designing some military action figures that are more realistic than any other toy on the market. And they do this by inserting these military microprocessor chips within these toys. Unfortunately, the AI technology within these microprocessor chips have programmed these military toys to think that they're actually real, and their sole objective is to destroy the series of monster toys that were built to be their adversaries, and that includes destroying any humans that may be helping them. This is what I mean when I say you just got to turn off your brain in order to enjoy this movie, because as I was watching it, I was thinking, why is this microprocessor chip that's designed for guided missiles have the AI technology within it in order to grow the personalities within these military figures? They do say at some point in the movie that the AI technology is so advanced that it just kind of expands on the initial programming that it has, and that's why you got these military figures that think that they're real. But I don't understand why a guided missile would need this type of AI technology, because the point of a guided missile is to hit where you're telling it to hit, so it doesn't make sense that they would have to have this thinking AI embedded within it. That's just a decision they decided to make in order to get the ball rolling on the plot. I just think it seems kind of weak, but then again, this is already an outlandish plot. They just needed to have these figures come to life, and they needed to have some shoestring of a reason why they're doing it. It could have just been these chips, it could have been witchcraft or whatever. They wanted it to come back to life, so they're like, all right, fine, let's just say it's a microprocessor chip. Don't explain too much about it. Let's just kind of roll with it. And once I realized that, I was like, okay, fine, turn the brain off. Let's just watch the movie and see what happens. The main human character in this movie is a boy named Alan who works at his father's toy store, which is where he comes across both these different types of figures, the monsters and the military ones. He takes the leader of the monster ones home with him, where he learns that it's more sentient, but since the military ones see that he did that, they perceive him as being an enemy because he aligned himself with the monster faction. And then the secondary human character is his next door neighbor, Christy, played by Kirsten Dunst. And I really did not like the relationship between Alan and Christy in this movie because it seemed very forced and artificial, like the script was just checking off some boxes, like this is the part where they're supposed to meet the girl, this is the part where they're supposed to connect with each other, this is the part where they become a couple towards the end of the movie. I just did not buy the progression of their relationship throughout this movie, because at no point in the movie did she really indicate that she was romantically interested in him, maybe just kind of friendly with him, but that's about it. In fact, throughout most of the movie, she had a boyfriend and they seemed to be happy together for the most part, except for towards the end of the movie when he failed to rescue her because he was set on fire and chased off by the military toys. But then Alan came in and did rescue her, so all of a sudden she's in love with him. It seemed like it was just kind of forced because, you know, the female love interest is supposed to be in love with the male main character in this point in the movie, so they just found some way to make it happen. It just didn't seem very believable to me. And I can understand the irony of saying a teenage relationship seems forced in a movie with walking, talking action figures. I did like the design they had for the monster toys and the military type toys because they all have their own unique looks and personalities to them. The voice acting for them I think was decent enough. Unfortunately, the only ones who get any real screen time are Archer as the leader of the monsters and Chip Hazard as the leader of the military one, who is voiced by Tommy Lee Jones. I think he did fine with what he had to work with, but I would have personally preferred having someone like Arlie Ermey voice the character. The animatronics that they used for the toys looked excellent and holds up pretty well even to today. And I think even a lot of the CGI looked good because you got to understand the CGI at the time made things ultimately look like toys. So since they were trying to look like toys to begin with, it blended together nicely. My gripe though is the CGI animation that they would have at certain points because I felt like it looked a little bit too fluid for what they were trying to go with. I think it would have looked better if they were trying to go for more of a stop motion animation style where they're not as fluid, they're more jankier than what they're supposed to be. It would have made the toys look creepier in scenes when they're supposed to be scary, and it would have looked like the movie was actually animated through moving toys around as opposed to just something animated on a computer. I do like how the military figures disregarded the plastic weapons that they were packaged with because they don't actually do anything, and instead decided to manufacture their own weapons through random stuff they just found in the environment. A lot of the designs for that was pretty creative, especially in the third act of the movie during the big battle at the climax where they have a fully automatic nail gun and like trebuchets shooting fireballs and other things like that. That was definitely cool to watch, but I couldn't help but notice that they're not really that threatening because even though a lot of that stuff would probably hurt getting a nail to the leg or something like that, they're still not that threatening when you can just walk up to them and hit them with a stick and it would destroy them because they're ultimately animatronic toys and still very fragile. And really, I feel like this movie is kind of a missed opportunity because it should have been a lot more darker than what it was, especially since it was given a PG-13 rating. Now, ironically, Gremlins has a PG rating and it's more graphic than what this movie is, but I will accept that it's because Gremlins came out before the advent of the PG-13 rating, but I feel like both these movies would have that rating if they're made nowadays. The only difference, though, is that Gremlins has living creatures as the adversary, so you throw them in a microwave, it'll explode in blood and guts. In this movie, they throw one of them in a garbage disposal, and while it gets destroyed, it's still just bits of plastic, so nothing too graphic. And that's why I would say this is a kind of a watered down version of Gremlins. It's not as scary, not as graphic, not as violent, or not even as funny or not as clever, but it's something that I think littler kids can enjoy. If you feel like Gremlins is probably too scary of a movie for them, you can start them off with this movie. And then if they're a little bit older, then they can move on to what Gremlins is because that is the superior movie. But this one I think kids can enjoy, and I think adults can enjoy it too, as long as you're just kind of willing to turn off their brain and just accept the absurdity of the whole situation. You can have fun with this one too. And that's why I'll give this movie a 6 out of 10. It's not a good movie, but still it is a fun movie if you're just willing to go with it. But let me know what you think about this movie in the comment section below. Have you seen it? Do you actually like Small Soldiers, or do you feel like how I do, where it's a bad movie, but it is a fun movie after all? And if you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with the latest in entertainment news or check out some more of my movie reviews. And if you haven't already, would you mind click the like button and share the video with your friends because it really helps out with the channel. Thank you.